the three biggest mistakes in outsourcing and how to avoid them. So outsourcing is obviously a super important part of any business, particularly if you're doing things online and you're running a digital business with virtual employees and outsourcers. And I've seen it a million times and I've done it myself. I need help and I go to reach out to get help, and for one reason or another, it doesn't actually work. And so I've seen this play out time and time again, and then people start to believe that outsourcing doesn't work. You can't get reliable people online. There's just no way to do it. So they're trapped in a limiting situation where there's no way you can get beyond a certain point unless you get additional help. So it's a never-ending cycle of working as hard as you can to get to a certain place, only to be limited by the fact that you're going to need more help to get beyond that, trying to get more help and having it not work out. And oftentimes it's based on one of three big mistakes. The first is not having a clear job description. You know, it sounds funny because you think, well, a job description, isn't that really if I'm going to hire employees? I mean, this is just an outsourcer. So if I just need some help, why do I need a clear job description? And the reason is it both lets the person that you're hiring know what you need them to do, but it also helps you crystallize exactly what it is you need. I've done this and I've gone into it thinking, well, if I need a graphic designer, then as long as they have graphic design skills, what difference does it make? Hire them and get going. The problem with that is, yes, they're a designer, but they don't really know what's expected of them. And if you don't really have a clear idea either, what ends up happening is you hire them and then you end up out-tasking. So instead of giving them a job to do where you can then go on and do the things you need to do, which was the point in the first place, you end up micromanaging and giving one task after another, trying to keep them busy. That's a huge mistake. If you actually lay out all the things that you need them to do up front, you'll know how many hours you need, you'll know what the scope of the job is, and you'll know whether or not you actually really need help. I've done this before and then realized, you know what? This is just sort of a one and done deal. I don't even really need long-term help for this. So then I can just hire somebody short-term. So that's one of the big mistakes. The second mistake is waiting until it's urgent. I used to do this all the time. So I get to a point where I'm working on all the stuff I need to do. And then when the tidal wave of work starts to hit me, then I run out and say, well, geez, I got to get help right now. So when you go and you are in a state of urgency or a state of emergency trying to hire, you're not going to do the right due diligence. You're not going to get the right person because you're more focused on speed than the right fit. And so what ends up happening is you wait until it's urgent, then you run out and get somebody, and then if they're not the right fit and you don't get lucky right out of the gate, then you have an even bigger problem because now you've hired someone who isn't the right fit for the job, and at the same time, you still need to get the job done. So now you're paying them money, possibly out-tasking them if you also didn't have a great job description, and then on top of it, you're still not getting the work done you need to be getting done. So you're wasting time, you're wasting money, and you're actually going in reverse. So it's always important and valuable to think it through in advance, get that job description, and then also get proactive with it. When you anticipate the need coming, that's when you go and you start the hiring process. You don't need to pull the trigger right away. You could find a bunch of candidates, and if you decide, you know what, business can wait a little bit. I'm going to wait on this a couple of weeks. One or two of them might be gone by then, but it's worth waiting till you get it right. But if you do this in advance, it gives you the time to vet people. It gives you the time to check their work. It gives you the time to correspond and talk to them. So you get a sense of who the right fit is, where you have synergy, and where you feel a connectedness with somebody. So when you do hire them, the odds that it works out are far, far higher. And the third big mistake is assuming they'll just figure it out all on themselves. I've done this a million times, where I brought somebody in and I said, you know what, I need a website built for this. And this person's a website builder, so why wouldn't they not be able to figure it out? I sort of give them a very, very broad sense of what I'm looking for. and expect them to be able to just roll up the sleeves and go. Well, they don't have a sense of what my business is like. They don't have a sense of what my goals are, what my market is. They don't know my products. They don't know what my general aesthetic is for websites or what kind of flow I'm looking for. There needs to be a tremendous amount more detail in terms of what it is that you're actually looking for if you expect to get it. Just because someone's a professional, just because someone's good at something, doesn't mean they're going to be able to do a great job for you, because if they aren't clear about what it is that needs to be done and you expect them to just figure it out, what I found is that most often they're sitting back and waiting to be tasked with things. And so the good ones will keep reaching out and saying, hey, do you have work for me, or what do you need me to do? Because they want to work. They want to be employed. They want to earn the money that they're going to get paid. But some of them will just sit back and literally do nothing. They'll take on other jobs. And if you're paying them not by the hour, but paying them by the week or by the month, the problem is you're paying for someone who's literally outsourcing themselves to somebody else and doing all their work, because of the fact that you haven't, given them a clear idea of what needs to be done. So it's super important in terms of outsourcing to think through exactly what it is you need for someone to do in terms of the skill set and in terms of the job itself. That way, when you're actually writing your job description and you're targeting people, you're going to get the right kind of person. The second thing is to make sure that you are able to give them specifics about what they need to be doing, and you need to get it set up before you actually are in a state of urgency. And then the third thing is make sure that you invest in them when you bring them on. In the very beginning, it's going to take a little bit more of your time. So you're going to become a little less productive in the beginning, but it's all in an effort to make them productive, which then takes it off your plate and allows you to do it. So it seems a little counterintuitive, but the idea is when you bring somebody on, you invest some time in them to get them up to speed, make sure they know what's expected of them, make sure they know what the success looks like. That way, once you let them go and allow them to just do their thing, it will free you up to do what you need to do, and you'll have the confidence and to know that you're getting exactly what it is that you're paying for and what you need. So those are the 3 outsourcing mistakes a lot of people make and how to avoid them. Remember, no matter what it is that you want in your business, in your life, don't compromise. Optimize.